processor. I'm analyzing 3 processor in a good phone that you must buy. If you don't see these qualities, don't buy any phone, because it will not give you strength, it will not give you fast processing of what? Data. Though this video might be long, but it will give you all you need in a what? Good phone. We have a neutral processing unit. The neutral processing unit is in charge of your picture. You want to snap a picture, the color texture or the picture background of the what? Camera, the focusing, the write-up, where you now snap, everything about it is done by the neutral processing unit. So when you are buying a phone, always make sure that phone has a very good neutral not that many phone doesn't have it, but does it have a good neutral processing unit where your picture quality can easily be processed? That's why you have some phones like iPhone, you have some phone like Samsung, you have some phone like Pixel, you have some phone in Tecno and Infinix, you have some phone in Motorola for those that lives in the UK, and some other phone that was Xiaomi. Some of their cameras are very sharp. It's because of what? The neutral processing unit is in charge of everything about picture. So when you are buying a good phone, seek if that phone has a good neutral processing what? Unit. Then we also have the second important processor in a mobile phone. Before you buy a phone, check the what? GPU, which is what? Graphic processing unit. This graphic processing unit is in charge of everything video. Immediately on your camera, you touch your video for it to begin to record video. Then the GPU takes over immediately. It begins to what? Process everything about the video you want to snap, so that you not be having a video that is dragging, that is shaking. No, this is in charge. The GPU is in charge of this word process. Anything video, you are into gaming, you are into what? Graphics, you are into animation, you want to convert text into what? Video, like AI video. The GPU is in charge that coordinates everything, convert and process it from the raw fact into an information, so that you have a quality video. It will be able to check the color texture, check your positioning, check the height and the frame, and everything about the video. So it will now be trying to check, coordinate with the RAM, because the GPU will now send a message to the RAM that is about to make a good content video. Then the RAM is now backing it up to be able to give you quality content video. That is why when you are making content, you are a content creator, you are somebody that is into gaming, heavy graphics, heavy apps that require what? Fastness. You need to go for a good phone that has what? GPU that can easily help you to coordinate all these things. So for quality video production, a good GPU in a phone is needed. Don't just rush and go and buy a phone. Always check whether that phone have a very good GPU, so that it can be able to process video easily without stress. Then we have the third processor, which is the central processing unit. The CPU is in charge of so many things. When you want to buy a good phone, go for the best processor in what? CPU, so that you not go and buy a phone. After buying it, find out that smart and the phone will be hanging. No. What is the work of the CPU? That is the central processing unit in a mobile phone. The central processing unit in a mobile phone is in charge of coordinating the activity that have been done by the neutral processing unit. I told you that the neutral processing unit is in charge of snapping camera, snapping picture with your what? Camera. Then the GPU is in charge of graphic production. Then the CPU now coordinate all these things. You know that all this information have been converted to give you a quality information. Raw fact has been converted from raw fact to what? Information by the neutral processing unit, and was also the GPU, which is the graphic processing unit. Now it's in turn of what? CPU. Anytime you want to load a video, CPU takes over. Then GPU is silent. The neutral processor is silent. The CPU now takes over, begin to relay them, begin to make it fast. That is why whenever you are buying a phone, look at the speed of that phone. Look at the speed content. Look at the graphic processing unit, which is what CPU, to make sure that that phone is very what fast. Not that after you finish buying the phone, you now begin to find out that it's beginning to generate it. That is why so many people, they will say maybe you don't buy a phone because of the name. You don't buy a phone because this is the product name I've been hearing. Does that phone quality have the quality of a good processor? That's why you can spend so much amount of money after buying a phone. You now find after you run one or two apps, the phone is generating very hot and you cannot return the phone. You cannot sell the phone to another person because you have so many things in the phone. That is why when you want to buy a good phone, look at what the central processing unit. So this video is all about analysis about processor in a mobile phone. Buying a phone with a good processor will give you fastness, comfort. It's not the one you'll be using, the phone will be hanging. No. So when you're buying a phone, look at this, all the processor in the phone. Do they have quality processor? They will have the processor, but is their processor high? That is what you need to check. That because Apple uses strong what processor. Samsung uses strong processor. That is why most wealthy people will always go for what iPhones and what Samsung. They will always go for Samsung. And if you want to stretch shoulder as a phone producing company, manufacturing company, you need to upgrade. You need to upgrade processor. Not the one, because when the user uses your product, he find out that your phone is not of his own taste. It's not producing what he wants. You cannot force that customer to come and buy a product from you again. He will not buy. He will go and look for another alternative. That's why as a production company, phone manufacturing company, look into what? Processor, which is what? CPU, that coordinates the activities of other processor in a mobile phone. Give people quality. When you give them quality phone, people will always what? Buy your product. That's why I recommend iPhone. I recommend Samsung. I recommend some quality phones in what? Come on, in what? Techno phone, and some good phones in Infinix and other brand. I'm here to bring to users the phones they can buy based on processor. So processor is very important in a mobile phone to give the customer comfort. And it's not good a customer after buying the phone will not serve the purpose. Begin to generate heat. That is why whenever you buy a phone, you begin to add some app. You say, when I was using it newly, it was working well, but now it's beginning to generate excess heat. This is why your phone is always generating heat, because of what? Excess load in the phone. The phone cannot have the capacity to carry it along because it doesn't have a good processor. So a phone manufacturer must give quality product based on what? Processor to customers. So you don't need much advertisement to begin to advertise your phone on social media, on what? On billboards. If you give people what? Quality product with good RAM, people will go for it. That is why iPhone 17 series, I recommend it, especially iPhone 17 Pro Max. That is iPhone 17 what? Pro Max, maximum professional. That is the Pro Max. It's a very good product. Then Samsung as well. Samsung A26 is a very good product as well you can buy that can give you what? Comfort. Please help me like and share. We have talked about what? Processor in a mobile phone, because every good phone deserve what? Good processor. And when you have a good processor, your phone will not be generating heat. When you have a good processor, your battery will not be dying every time, because when the processor is weak, your phone will be generating heat. This is why you are using a phone, your phone is generating heat. Before you know, your battery will be draining so fast. So it's always good, get a good processor and have a stable battery, because if you don't have a good processor, you'll be changing your battery consistently. Thank you very much.